Hello and welcome everyone to class for today, for this produce spotlight class for today. My name is Charlotte Scheid and I'm one of the Giant Company dietitians. Appreciate everybody joining me here for this class today featuring Tomatillo. So this month is National Salsa Month. And let me actually go to my next slide. And actually, before I go forward, just a reminder, if you do have any questions for class today, please put it in the Q&A. So again, this month is National Salsa Month. And so what we're going to be making today is a tomatillo and avocado salsa verde, which will be super delicious. But since we're talking a little bit about salsa during the Produce Spotlight class series this month, I wanted to just mention some in-store salsas. Of course, we're making a homemade salsa for today, but if you're in a pinch, we do have some yummy versions in store. So we have our guacamole salsa in the fresh produce section. We also have our canned thick and chunky mild salsa. Also, if you're looking for something a little bit more sweet, we have a mango, and then pico de gallo, which is a little bit of a chunkier salsa. But in-store salsas or just salsa in general can be put on a variety of different things. So tacos and burritos, even grilled meats like chicken or pork, some egg dishes like huevos rancheros, which is one of my favorite breakfast items. And of course, you can just have it with chips as well, but a variety of different salsas in store since it is National Salsa Month. Next time you're in store, definitely give these a, definitely try them out. Obviously, the fresher versions are going to have a little bit less sodium. The fresher ones less sodium than our canned versions, if that's of concern to you. But again, if you're looking for a salsa in store and you don't have a whole lot of time, definitely try these out. Okay, so let me pull up our poll question for today, and we're going to be using tomatillo. So my question for today is, have you ever tried a tomatillo? So let me pull up this, and you can go ahead and answer this question. Okay, so tomatillo, you can find them in our unique produce kind of aisle or section. Usually they're by like the dragon fruit or coconut or even jicama, which we made in some classes as well. So I don't know if anybody has seen those in store, but they're definitely a very delicious and unique produce item. So, okay, so let me go ahead and I will end this poll. Let's see what everybody had to say. All right, so it looks like there's actually more of you than I thought that have tried it, but still a good amount of you that have not. So hopefully you're learning a little bit about tomatillos and how they can be used in a variety of different recipes. You can try them out. All right, so thanks everybody for answering that question. Okay, so these are some fun facts about tomatillo. So I have a tomatillo right here. So usually it has like a little bit of a husk around it, but they are native to Central America and used in Mexican and Central American cuisine. They are a small green fruit that definitely looks like a small tomato, especially after you take the husk off. But tomatillo means little tomato in Spanish, and it can be eaten raw or cooked. I already broiled the tomatillos that we're going to be using in the salsa for today. You can eat them raw as well. So they are sweet but tart. Raw tomatillos are more acidic, and then cooked tomatillos have a little bit more of a milder in flavor. So they're distantly related to the tomato, but they're definitely not the same. And if you're thinking about substituting them in place of a tomato, it's not recommended to do that just because it's just a little bit different. All right, so this is some nutrition information about tomatillos. So low in calories, like a lot of produce items, but has 2 grams of fiber, so for about 3.5 ounces, so probably just for, a little tomatillo itself. Really good source of vitamin A, which of course is important for healthy vision. Vitamin C, we know that's beneficial for the immune system, which is always a good thing. Also has good source of manganese, which is important for brain and nerve function. Also calcium absorption and blood sugar regulation. Potassium, this may help to reduce blood pressure and prevent kidney stones. Then also a good source of carotenoids, which are those plant compounds which have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. We listed some down below, just like beta carotene. So a lot of different good nutritional things nutritional benefits in a tomatillo. So definitely a good reason to include them in our diets. So how to pick a tomatillo. So if you do go to Giant Martin's and you go in the unique produce section, when you see a tomatillo, you want it to feel firm. We don't want it to feel soft. Well, just like with many different other types of produce items. So we want it to feel firm. So this outer husk right here should be dry. Don't know if you can hear it when I do that, but you can definitely tell it is dry. It's papery. It does have a little bit of a light brown color. So the skin, so let me go ahead and peel this. I don't know if everybody can see. Everybody can see this a little bit. It does have like a stickiness also to it on the outer surface. So the skin should be a vibrant green, have a glossy and smooth texture, and obviously no blemishes or dark spots because that might mean it is too mature and is not too, or it is too right. It also has a kind of a unique scent to it as well, but so we want it to look like that. So it has a really nice green glossy color, and then that husk was dry and papery. So those are the types of things. If you're in the store and you're looking for a tomatillo, that's what we want to look for. And then once you bring it home, you definitely want to leave the husk on until you're ready to use. You can store them on the countertop or in the refrigerator. You can put them in a loose bag, or if you do put them in a loose bag in the refrigerator, it can last up to 2 weeks. But if you're just putting them on the countertop, that's fine as well. So when you're prepping for cooking, we want to remove the husk by hand, which I already boiled like I said, the tomatillos for the salsa for today. So I removed the husk and I rinsed them underwater, and then until that stickiness, which I had mentioned on the skin, is no longer there. And then we want to pat dry it with a paper towel. So for cleaning and storage, that's what we want to do for the tomatillos. And then how to use tomatillos. So obviously we can use them in salsa. So if you use them for salsa, you can use them as a topping for taco, or you can even just like cook them up by themselves. You can add them as a topping for a taco. There's a variety of vinaigrette recipes with tomatillos that are super delicious. You can grill them, add them to salads, tacos, or grilled cheese, kind of like a grilled cheese and tomato sandwich, but of course a little bit different with the taste. You can add them to soup, stews, and chili, guacamole, which is really nice, relish, enchiladas. You can use them as a sauce, and then salsa verde as well. So variety of different ways to use them, but definitely in salsa is very nice. So these are some tomatillo products at Giant Martin's. Not a ton of products, but there are definitely some. So we have the avocado verde with tomatillo salsa. Also have another brand of tomatillo salsa itself, and then of course just the individual one, which you can see right here. So of course is in the unique produce department. So next time you're in store, definitely check out these products, or of course just the tomatillo itself. You can do a lot of different things with. So these are some tomatillo recipes from our Savory magazine, which this is the most recent copy or version that has come out, probably in stores right now. But these tomatillo recipes are not in this magazine itself, but I just wanted to show you the cover of the most recent one in case you are in store. You can pick one up, or of course you can view the recipes online as well. But these tomatillo recipes come from the recipe database on Savory magazine website. So the first one is a shrimp with tomatillos and rice. This recipe gets 2 guiding stars, so a lot of different nutritional benefits with it, but shrimp and tomatillos rice, really good combination. So for this one, we have some tomatillos with onion and garlic and chicken broth. So you're gonna make that into its own sauce as well. Then put it on top of rice with shrimp. And then to serve, you can do cilantro, which we'll be using cilantro in our recipe for today. And if you like a little bit of spiciness, you can do some hot sauce as well. So this is a little bit higher in sodium, but does have 3 grams of fiber and 21 grams of protein. So just giving a way to use our tomatillos. And then the next one, I always like a good Instapot meal just because it's super easy to make. But this is an Instapot chicken verde tamales. So this recipe, 15 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. So these are the ingredients right here. And we do have corn husks too, probably near either the international section or produce section, but you can find those. But also you'll be using about ½ pound of tomatillos with some white onion, chili, garlic, lime juice. Be using lime juice in today's salsa recipe, some cooked chicken, and some other ingredients. So that's the Instapot chicken verde tamales, but just using tomatillos in a different way, but is on our Savory Magazine recipe database. All right. So this is the recipe that we are going to be making today. So it's a tomatillo avocado salsa verde. So this gets 3 guiding stars. It's a lot of different nutritional benefits with it. Low in sodium, which usually homemade salsas are a little bit more low in sodium, and also good fiber as well with 4 grams. So we're going to be using a pound of tomatillos. So usually a pound of tomatillos is about like depending on the size, about like 8 to 12 or so tomatillos. You can see that they're relatively small in size. But so what I did before class is I turned on my oven and I broiled. So broil meaning just the heat is a direct heat is coming down from the top of the oven, and then usually it's around like 500 or so for the temperature. But I broiled my ingredients here for about 10 minutes or so, and you definitely don't want to do any longer than that because it will burn. But you just want these ingredients right here to just char or, cook down a little bit. So on my plate, or not my plate, my baking sheet, I put aluminum foil, and I didn't have to put any cooking spray or anything on, but I have about a pound of tomatillos, so I have about 9 here. I cut up in chunks a small white onion, so you can see right here, 3 garlic cloves, which you do not have to peel before you broil. So we're going to be peeling this before we put in our food processor. Also have 2 jalapenos for a little bit of heat. I'm just going to remove the stem once I put it in my food processor. But I'm going to keep the seeds and the white part for a little bit of heat in the salsa. But of course, if you don't like a whole lot of heat, you can remove the seeds and the white part. And then what we're also going to be adding is an avocado, and then a 4th cup of chopped fresh cilantro, which I have right here, and a teaspoon of fresh lime juice. And then actually, let me go to the next slide to show you what you can pair with it. But that's our salsa, and then what you can pair with it. Here's our 2 products. So we're going to be pairing it with a black bean and quinoa tortilla chips right here, which do get 1 guiding star, and as well as the blue corn tortilla chips, which is one of my favorite chips. And that also gets, again, 1 guiding star. So those are some product pairings for our salsa. So that's our tomatillo avocado salsa verde. So let's go ahead and I'll stop sharing my screen and we will make that. Alrighty. So the first thing that I'm going to do, so these are my broiled tomatillos right here. So you can see that they are cooked down, of course, not burnt. Some of them are a little bit of charred, but that's okay because that's what we want. So I'm just going to put these in my food processor. And again, I broiled these for about 10 minutes. The degrees was about 500. But again, you don't want to do um, any longer than that because it will burn very quickly. So I also have cut up into chunks my white onion. So so I cut it into chunks and then I'll put it on my baking sheet. So we're going to be adding this in. And then we'll unpeel our garlic. So this recipe calls for 3 garlic cloves. So I did not unpeel these beforehand. So you can see right here. Oops. So I'm going to go ahead and unpeel these. That's a really nice smell to it. Of course, garlic does, but it smells really good. I'm just going to cut off the very end of that. So I'm just unpeeling my garlic. So 1, 2, I'm going to do 3. These are actually really nice sized garlic cloves, but sometimes they're not, but these are a nice size. So I'm just taking off my peel. I'm just going to cut off the very end of the garlic. I'll put it right into my food processor. All right, so I'm going to put on my top of the food processor and then just blend it up till it's, blended down a little bit. And then we're going to add avocado, cilantro, and lime juice. So let me go ahead and do that. I will mute myself. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is add a 4th cup of fresh cilantro right here, which I already pulled apart and washed. So a 4th cup of cilantro, a teaspoon of lime juice. And I'm just going to take this outer part of the avocado off. We're just going to be adding one whole avocado. So of course I'm cutting around and I'm going to take out the pit. So you can see right here, it's a nice avocado. Add this in. I'm going to cut this in half. Take the pit out and then this outer part. We're going to cut this in half. And then we're going to go ahead and blend. Let me kind of mute myself one last time. All right, so let me see what this looks like. It's looking good. I'm just gonna do just a little bit more. All right, so hopefully this looks looking, yep, it's looking good. It's a nice creamy salsa. Someone asked me if they could see the tomatillo up close, just again, because they were not able to see it. As you can see, it's a nice glossy, vibrant green color. So this is the tomatillo up close, and then this was the outer husk that was on it. So just like this, and we peeled it off, and this is underneath. All right, so let me go ahead and scoop out some of this. I'm going to put it in my bowl. So again, as you can see here, it's a nice creamy one, the avocado. So this especially is good if you're going to like a graduation party that's upcoming or any type of summer party, especially if you cool this down. Really nice flavor with everything combining. It's harder than I thought to get out. Okay, there we go. Let me put this back. So you can see this is our nice tomatillo avocado salsa verde for displaying. Just put it on a plate here. And then the kind of chips that I'm using today are those black bean and quinoa tortilla chips, which is really nice. Like this. Display them just like that. You could even just use regular vegetables too, I think, to pair this with, or you could do some type of biscuit cracker or a lot of different things. This would taste really good also, I think, on like tacos, burritos, that type of thing, but definitely a good one to make for parties. So this is our, again, tomatillo avocado salsa verde. So definitely very easy to make, but another way to use our tomatillos. All right.